Is that kind of what you want to see from him?
Carrick's always at his best when he is as active as possible with effort plays, with energy plays. And I thought he was terrific on the glass, both ends. Obviously, he had double-digit rebounds for us. I love to see him get out in transition and be able to take advantage of his ability in that area more than he did Saturday. But when he's active on defense with deflections, when he's rebounding at both ends of the floor, when he's making effort and energy plays, that's when he's at his best.
What do you think about the integrity of your defense, or just how it looked?
Yeah, I think the integrity of our defense, for the most part, Chris, was very good. Our defensive numbers were excellent in the game, except for, once again, I think we got to do a better job with rebounding and 50-50 balls. Their quickness and athleticism allowed them to find ways to get to balls better than we did in that game. By our tally, there were 12 50-50 balls, and they came up with 9 of them. But the base of our defense, the integrity of our defense, to borrow your words, I think was pretty good, and our numbers reflected that, both in the way we held their 2 best players in check, to our field goal percentage defense, our turnovers forced, and our 47 deflections. And really, they scored as much on our offense as they did on our defense. If you look at the preponderance of points that we gave up, it was really a function of us not doing our best on offense. Turnovers, ill-advised shots, not having awareness to create floor balance in the initial stages of our transition defense.
How many deflections you guys had?
47.
That sounds like a lot.
That is a lot. That is a high number.
And so how did Jordan look in terms of what you want him to be able to accomplish?
Well, obviously, he had a great stat line, and as impressive as that stat line is, certainly highlighted by his career-breaking 9 block shots. I still think we got to do a better job of taking advantage of what we have inside. We threw it in, we got to throw it in even more. And understand that good basketball is played inside out for our team.
Coach, when you look at the preseason, was there one aspect that really pleased you as far as in terms of improvement you really feel that manifested itself last Saturday?
I think right now, probably as much as anything, our quarter court defense is probably as far as along as anything else that we have. That's not to imply by any stretch that we don't have an enormous amount of work to do with it. But I think, over the first few weeks of the season, that's been consistently our strongest suit. There were instances in the game, though, I thought we got too spread out. We did give up some penetration. We even got nailed for a couple back doors late in the game. A lot of our defensive holes on Saturday came as a function of us, gambling. Us not having the discipline to do what we do, whether it was guys trying to jam people in the backcourt in transition defense rather than get back, or guys, leaking out and not staying into defense or rebound, or guys maybe playing for a steal and not being in good defensive support position.
And you always talked about the high expectations for Jahi, even being astronomical expectations at that. How do you think he responded after that first game?
I just thought he had a really good demeanor going into the game. It would be easy to see someone in his shoes really being, all over the place. I mean, there was a lot going into that game emotionally for Jahi, and I thought he just did a great job of keeping a very cool, calm demeanor, and he really stayed within what we were trying to do. And I thought, that was very, very admirable, because, we can only imagine, all the emotion, that he must have been feeling. And it was really nice. I really enjoyed the tremendous round of applause that he got when he was introduced. That was a real credit to our fans.
If you just get back to Jordan, if you look back to last year, his first game was a DNP.
and then this year's first game is almost a triple-double.
Yeah.
Is that kind of could it be a springboard into, playing to what he could do, playing up to his potential?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it continues to be a process, Doug. When we recruited Jordan, we knew it was going to be a journey. You don't go from not playing for 3 years, let alone even working out, to Pac-12 basketball. But yet we had to actually live through that experience. And actually when you're going through it, sometimes it looks and feels different than even when you knew better. But like many of our front court players historically, he continues to get better. You look at the succession of guys with Pendergraft and his continued improvement, followed by Boateng and what he was able to accomplish with his development. And I think Jordan's on a very similar trajectory, maybe having it even more challenging once again, not playing basketball or even working out for a 3-year period. So I think, we're not there by any stretch of the imagination. I know I keep saying that, but I know in Jordan's case, the arrow's pointed the right direction.
The challenges of figuring out how to best take advantage or use your personnel on offense. What are your thoughts about just how that's unfolding and what did you learn from that game?
I just think we didn't have enough of a mindset, Chris, where we were really playing together, and our overarching goal should have been to make each other better. I didn't think we had that mindset enough. So we got to kind of get back to that.
Are there still questions that you have, or as a staff that you guys are talking about as far as how to best take advantage of your pieces?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we have, everything finalized yet. And, a lot of that's determined with, how consistently will guys play. Can we expect the same kind of things night in and night out from different players, or will we be, kind of up and down? But I mean, every time we play, every time we practice, it usually comes into a little bit better focus.
Has that been tough this year as you prepared for the season, just with how different you have the personnel, Jahi, and you had Gordon, Baldwin?
I think it's tougher the years you have more newcomers, because those are the guys that you really don't know until you work with them. So I think we've had a pretty good handle on what our guys can do. Having said that, we tweak things from the first day of practice until today, because you're constantly getting new information. Sometimes just a matter of getting better at what we do, and sometimes you take a step back as a coach and say, well, maybe it would make more sense not to do that, or maybe to do it a little differently.